Welcome everyone to the Pantheon. I am your host Ray,
I'm Evy.
and Evy, what are we looking at today?
We're looking at Kate today.
That's right, the action movie exclusively on Netflix. It is stars Mary Elizabeth Winstead. And Evy, what were your thoughts of this movie?
Kate was really violent. Had special effects were amazing though.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, yeah, I would give it.
Well, you know what? How about this? Like in terms of let's do a baseline. So I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions and just to get an idea of like the general establishment of what this movie is. So, where does this movie take place?
This movie takes place in Japan.
Exactly. This is one of the few films that takes place. The entire movie takes place in Japan, in
Mhm.
various cities, but mostly in the Mecca
Japan.
of Japan. Yeah. And okay, and just to give us an idea of like what is the motivation for Kate in this movie? Like, what is making her do what she's doing?
Well, the Japanese criminals
Mhm.
are going after Kate because they're doing a hit on her. So yeah, so she's just trying to to leave. Other than yeah, so that's what it is about
Beautiful. No.
throughout the movie.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was a good movie. Special effects were good, but not much of a story or anything like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, special effects are good, but yeah, and that's it really.
No, you got it. It's like it's really straightforward. I mean, you know what the plot is, and that's what it is. Like, there's no twist. I mean, there is a twist, but like in terms of like her motivation, I mean, you know, it's very finite and it's on a time frame. You know, um,
Yeah,
it's a revenge movie. Basically, it's a revenge, and she's the one who wants to get the revenge. You know, and
right, of course.
she doesn't know who's behind it, and it's her trying to figure it out. Uh, this film, for me, reminded me of Leon's The Professional, the one from Luc Besson, because
Okay.
um, the Natalie Portman's character in a way where it's like a young girl, you know, she gets involved with a hitman and wants to learn the craft. You know, this would be like, uh, in her case, it'd be like the next generation, like years later, because her parents were killed. You know, she met Woody Harrelson's character, and she became a hitwoman, a mercenary. If you were looking at it in that lens, you would see it as being the continuation of that story. If the hitman was still around and if she was still in the business, and if it had a happier ending, so to speak, uh, I could see this being an extension of that story. In fact, there's lines given by a specific line given by Woody Harrelson that really like basically borrows from a line given by Gary Oldman in the movie The Professional. You know,
Mhm.
so and done in the exact same emphasis. So it was almost, you could tell it was like a homage to that movie. It was an influence to this movie. Um, did you see any parallels in other movies besides your double feature? Like, did you see anything else that was familiar to you, or no?
I did. The I what I saw
Mhm.
was the movie with Angelina Jolie, uh, where she was driving a car throughout the whole thing. Um, it's the I can't remember the name. I know that.
Gone in 60 Seconds with Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, that's it.
Mhm.
That's it. Yeah, I thought it was really well done,
Okay.
and yeah, so that was good too.
Who would the audience would you give this to?
When the audience, would I give us maybe like somebody who's maybe 16 or 17?
Hmm.
Um, yeah, because it's very violent too, but
Hmm.
it is a good movie and the story's not bad. What did you think about the violence in Kate? Would you say that it's overdone or?
No, I think it's proportionate. I think because she is, I mean, as the movie's progressing, you're seeing her damage to her body, like what's happening to her. You know,
Mhm.
if you know what her motivation is, and you've seen what's the effect of that on her chest, you start seeing it.
Mhm.
Um, then the violence is perpetuated by the urgency of the, and it's like a ticking clock. Like, because there's a ticking clock, a biological ticking clock in this case,
Mhm.
not a metaphor. It's a metaphorical one. Um, the violence is necessitated by her time, you know, and it's like it's kind of it's gripping in the sense that this is what's making her do what she's going to do, and she's becoming a little bit more reckless, but she's still very, very focused. You know, more of a detective show trying to figure out, you know, the kind of the whodunit is what motivates it. But in terms of the violence, it's sort of like crafted in a way that it's sort of a controlled violence, and she's only targeting specifics. It's not blind violence.
Mm.
So that's how I like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, well, that's it. It's really short and simple. Well, thanks for watching. We'll be back next week. This is part of the John Wick Wednesdays. We'll be back on Friday with a brand new show. So with that, I am Ray.
And I'm Evy.
We'll talk to you soon.